These are the songs that once filled rooms, cars, and quiet moments you didn't know would matter later. For a while, they were everywhere. Then time moved on, and they slipped away.
So many years, I thought I'd never find you.
But what happened after the hits faded is where the real stories live. And once you hear them again, they don't feel forgotten at all.
And we can ride the boogie, share that beat of love.
If these songs ever live somewhere in your life, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to R&B Wonders. It helps keep nights like this going. Number 12, Just Once by James Ingram.
Can we find a way to finally make it right?
You know this one. James Ingram, Just Once. The song that sounded like it was sitting at the edge of a decision. It came out when the early 80s were teaching people a new kind of adulthood. The party still happened, the radio still played, but behind the smiles, the relationships were getting complicated.
Why did always come back to goodbye?
Divorce wasn't whispered about the way it used to be. People were learning how to keep going after forever didn't work out. And then this record would float in, calm as a street light, asking for one simple miracle. Just one time, let it be right.
Take the best to make it better.
At its peak, it felt unavoidable. Late night radio, living rooms, slow dances where nobody wanted to be the first to pull away. What came next surprised a lot of people, though. James Ingram had the voice to become the face of an era. But the decade didn't always reward pure vulnerability.
You do it just once.
The industry leaned harder into flash, image, and fast hits, while he kept choosing songs that felt like real conversations.
Seems nothing ever changes.
That's why it still lands today, because it doesn't beg. It doesn't perform heartbreak. It just stands there, honest.
Just once. Can we feel?
And the older you get, the more you realize how rare honesty like that is.
I will never last for very long.
Number 11, Back Together Again by Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway. When it arrived, it wasn't just another duet. It came in a time when people were holding on to music for comfort because the world outside the speakers could be sharp. This record had that warm, familiar feeling, like two voices you trusted telling you there was still something safe left in the night. But here's the quiet truth behind it. This song carries a shadow. Donny Hathaway's story didn't unfold the way anyone wanted. The promise people heard in his voice, life didn't give him enough room to fully live it out. And that changes how the song hits you years later. What sounded like joy also feels like a farewell you didn't know you were hearing. Roberta kept going, carrying elegance like armor. Donny became legend, brilliant, complicated, and gone too soon. So when you hear this song today, it's not just nostalgia. It's memory with weight. It leaves you with that strange feeling like you're glad you found it again and a little sad you ever lost it. Number 10, You Are My Lady by Freddie Jackson. Mid-80s R&B had a particular glow. It was tailored, smooth, grown. People were working hard, chasing stability, trying to build something that felt solid, love included. And this song didn't dance around the feeling. It walked straight up, looked you in the eye, and said it clearly. No games, no coldness, just intention. For a while, Freddie felt like the sound of that era's romance. Clean suits, slow rides, quiet confidence. The turning point came when R&B started shifting under his feet. New voices showed up, new production styles took over, and the industry began moving faster. Suddenly, the kind of slow, steady elegance that made him special wasn't what labels were pushing the hardest. But the song never needed trends to survive. That's the secret. Because when you play it now, it still feels like a grown man meaning what he says. And in a world full of half promises, that kind of certainty sounds almost shocking. It doesn't just bring you back, it reminds you what love used to sound like when people spoke it plainly. Number 9, Sweet Love by Anita Baker. By the time it came around, so much music was chasing attention. Bigger drums, brighter hooks, faster everything. And then Anita arrived like she wasn't trying to compete at all. She sounded like the night itself, smooth, controlled, and quietly powerful. People didn't just listen, they settled in. The peak of this song wasn't just charts or radio, it was the way it became a ritual. Couples played it when they wanted the room to feel safer. Lonely people played it because it didn't judge them for being alone. What came next was interesting. Anita didn't flood the world with constant noise. She moved carefully. She protected her voice, her privacy, her pace. That choice made her feel almost mysterious as the years went on. And that's why it still matters, because Sweet Love isn't tied to a hairstyle or a dance step. It's tied to a feeling. And feelings don't get old. They just wait for you to come back. Number 8, Rock With You by Michael Jackson. The song that sounds like the first warm night after a long winter. It landed right as the world was stepping into a new decade when people were hungry for release. The late 70s had been full of change, and the early 80s were promising something shiny, new tech, new fashion, new dreams. This record felt like pure motion, like leaving the house with nothing heavy on your shoulders. It dominated the air in a way that felt effortless. Cars, roller rinks, dance floors, radios and kitchen windows. You couldn't really escape it, and nobody wanted to. But what came next surprised people. Michael didn't stay in that smooth disco lane. He took the joy and used it as a launch pad. The sound got sharper. The ambition got bigger. The world watched him turn into something almost unreal. That transformation is exactly why Rock With You feels so precious now. It's a reminder that sometimes the sweetest moment is right before everything changes. Number 7, Always and Forever by Heatwave.
Each moment with you.
The song that survived decades by refusing to raise its voice. Even if it didn't originate in the 80s, it lived through the 80s. Slow jam nights, quiet radio dedications, wedding dances that started awkward and ended honest. It was one of those songs that felt so present, you assumed it would always stay that way. When it first entered people's lives, love songs were still allowed to be gentle without apologizing. No irony, no bravado, just tenderness. The turning point came as trends changed, new beats, new styles, new attitudes. Radio moved on. The culture sped up, and songs like this got pushed to the side like old photos you don't frame anymore.
The things that you do.
But here's the after story. Always and forever, never truly vanished. It just went underground into memory.
Take time to tell.
You'd hear it at a family event, from a neighbor's speaker, from a playlist someone made when they missed a person they couldn't call anymore. And when it hit you today, it doesn't feel like a retro track. It feels like time folding in half, proof that some promises still echo even after the room goes quiet. Number 6, I Want to Be Your Man by Zapp and Roger. That electric late-night flirtation that sounded like the future. Early 80s R&B was experimenting. Machines were becoming instruments and dance floors were becoming laboratories. And then that talk box came in, turning a human voice into something glossy and strange, like desire translated into electricity. You didn't just hear it. You felt it in the chest. At its peak, it had that everybody knows this energy. House parties would light up the moment it dropped. People tried to imitate the sound, tried to copy the vibe, tried to bottle that same spark. But what came next wasn't simple. The industry started taking the technique without always giving the originators their full flowers. The sound got absorbed, repeated, recycled, until listeners forgot where the magic started. That's why this song matters now. It's not just a nostalgic jam. It's a reminder of a moment when R&B took a hard left and came back cooler. Number 5, If Only You Knew by Patti LaBelle. By the early 80s, people were learning how to hide their feelings better, to keep it together, to look strong. And this record came in and did the opposite. It admitted the thing everyone was scared to say, that deep love you carry for someone while pretending it's not there. When it hit, it didn't just live on the radio. It lived in real situations. Because it captures her at a particular emotional temperature, controlled but burning underneath. And when you hear it today, you don't just remember the 80s. You remember the person you were when you first needed a song like this to say what you couldn't. Number 4, Between the Sheets by the Isley Brothers. By the time it arrived, the Isleys had already lived multiple musical lives. They weren't chasing youth, they were shaping atmosphere. This record came out in an era when R&B was getting smoother, more private, more bedroom than ballroom. People were dealing with stress, work, pressure, and this song offered an escape you could feel in the show. At its peak, it was everywhere, quietly. And that's why this song still matters. Because it's not only a memory, it's a blueprint. When you hear it now, it feels like discovering a secret your younger self knew, but never had the words to explain. Number 3, Lady by Kenny Rogers and Lionel Richie. The love song that crossed rooms it didn't even belong to. When it came out, music was still allowed to travel freely between worlds. Soul fans heard it, pop fans heard it, country fans claimed it, and in the middle of all that, the song became something bigger than genre, a soft declaration that didn't need swagger.
Let me wake to see you.
It defined a certain kind of romance in that era. Mature, steady, unembarrassed. People heard it in supermarkets, in cars, in late night radio dedications. It was the soundtrack to anniversaries and reconciliations, to couples who were trying to keep it together through life's ordinary storms.
For so long.
The turning point is subtle. As the years passed, music started sorting itself into tighter boxes. Audiences splintered, styles hardened, and songs like Lady, gentle, universal, slow, started feeling like a language people didn't speak as often. But the after is exactly what makes it powerful. It remained a quiet standard, a record people return to when they want to remember how love sounds without performance. Number 2, Let's Stay Together by Al Green.
Never be
The song that sounds like warmth, trying to hold the world in place. Even though it began in the 70s, it lived through the 80s like a permanent request on late night radio, because some records don't belong to a year. They belong to human nature.
times are good.
And in a decade full of change, new money, new pressure, new temptations, this song kept showing up like a reminder. At its peak, it wasn't just popular, it was trusted. People played it when they meant something, when they were asking for patience, when they wanted a second chance without begging for it.
Brown and makeup. Yeah.
The turning point came as music got bigger and more synthetic. Voices got layered, drums got harder, everything got polished. But Al's record didn't need polish. It had soul, raw, smooth, spiritual, in the way it commits without sounding naive. The after is the strange part. The song kept growing even as time moved forward. It became a standard, a sample source, a slow dance guarantee, and when you hear it now, it doesn't feel old. It feels like a promise people still want to believe in, even if they're scared they can't keep it. Number 1, Endless Love by Diana Ross and Lionel Richie. When it arrived, it felt like a big moment in the culture, like love was allowed to be grand again. This wasn't the kind of song you played casually. It was event music. Lionel went on to build an entire era of heartfelt pop soul. Diana carried her legacy forward with that unmistakable poise. But the public kept circling back to this because it captured them both in a particular kind of purity. The turning point is that songs like this became rarer. Because when you hear it today, you don't just remember the song, you remember the version of love you used to believe was possible and the quiet hope that it still is.
My love.
And just like that, the music settles back into the dark. What you heard tonight wasn't just sound, it was memory finding its way home. Proof that some songs never leave us, even when we stop hearing them. There are more stories waiting when the night gets quiet again. Until then, let the last note stay with you.